So I really don't think enough people know about manifestation as it relates to human design. The only thing I ever hear people talk about when they're talking about manifestation as it relates to human design is the perspective arrow. And they'll go either you're a specific or a non-specific manifester. But I need you to know that it was Jenna Zoe of myhumandesign.com and the My Human Design app that coined those two terms, specific or non-specific manifester. And what she's referring to when she talks about specific or non-specific manifester is that perspective arrow in your chart. Okay, my chart is a little bit cut off here, but the perspective arrow is showing. So when you look at the top of a human design chart, let me move my little head. When you look at the very top of a human design chart, right, there are 4 arrows that are surrounding the crown center, the one at the top triangle. And this bottom right one, this bottom right one represents your perspective, and it can be left facing or it can be right facing. But there's so much more to perspective than that. And there are many other places that we look in the chart for manifestation, like the throat center, for example, which is our only manifestation center out of the 9 centers. So what Jenna says is that if you have a right-facing arrow, perspective arrow, that you're a non-specific manifester. And if you have a left-facing arrow, you're a specific manifester. And I add on top of that, right, if you have a defined throat, just generally when I talk about a defined throat, if you have a defined throat, you have this consistent ability to manifest, to express, right, to create via that manifestation and throat center. And if it's undefined, right, you're supposed to be a little bit more fluid about it and be a little bit more open and not take action at all from that center and not follow any impulses. So based on this logic, you look at a chart like mine, this is my chart, undefined throat and a right-facing arrow. My manifestation technique is to do absolutely nothing. That sounds kind of frustrating, but is it true? Is it true? Have I been able to manifest in my life? Well, I went from being a stay-at-home mom with no savings and no resume to separating from my ex-husband and living in this whole house with my kids. I was able to start a business that sustains me and pays all of my bills. And I have more amazing relationships than I could have ever imagined 5 years ago. But did I manifest it? Gosh, this sun is ridiculous. Did I manifest it? And how did I manifest it? And how did I manifest it according to my human design chart? Let's take another look. My chart is mostly open. Almost everything is undefined. And I am a splenic projector. Why did I forget my type? I'm a splenic projector and I have one channel, single channel projector, the channel of struggle. And so my specific way of manifesting and creating my life, first of all, is looking at the energy that I create consistently, which is this channel of struggle. Things that are challenging, things that are difficult, actually give me meaning and purpose in life, right? So I use all of this pressure and this adrenalized energy and I pair that with my intuition. And I make the most of my time. That's one way that I manifest. The other way is I look at my profile numbers. I'm a 1-3. This is how I create balance and show up in my daily life in a way that is actually sustainable, okay? So as a first line, I create a foundation of knowledge, right? I figure it out. I get to the bottom of things. I get the answers. And then as a third line, I go out and I experiment with it and I test it and I trial and error and I try and fail over and over again. And this all gives me purpose and meaning. And this all gives me data points to look at, to have evidence and to see how far I've come and to see all of the things that I've manifested. But here's where your distraction comes in. Here's where your trap comes in, right? Here's where your not self, your black hole, your bottomless pit. This is what's going to keep you from noticing what you're manifesting. And that is your undefined centers. And particularly if you have any centers that are fully open, like my ego center. Okay. My fully open ego center will want to tell me that I'm not enough, that I don't have enough, that I don't have value, and that I haven't manifested jack shit unless I can show it on the outside, right? Unless I can prove it to you. And that is my black hole, that's my bottomless pit. And I guarantee you there's somewhere in your chart that is your distraction as well, that is keeping you from manifesting and is keeping you from noticing what you're manifesting. So if you've made it this far with me, I'm so super curious if you'd like to learn more about this, right? Like, should I have some kind of offering where I talk about manifestation via human design? I tell you how to avoid your distractions. And then I also tell you how to create a mood board and create a vision board that actually lines up with your specific design and the environments that you should be in and the way that you take in information and the way that you see the world. Do you think that would be helpful to you? Is that something that you would be interested in? Let me know in the comments. And also, please let me know what questions that you have about manifestation because I can answer those with follow-up videos.